carry to pressure. Like, you can put pressure on the Weaver, but he can still survive in that situation pretty well. You can just disjoint the Wraith potential more, but I don't know. I think the Axe would do fine in that safe lane if they did go aggro try. I just don't know if the aggro try would actually get enough to make it worthwhile. Do see early on no courier picked up yet.
I'm gonna try to call you back. I think there's some robot nonsense going on here. My Skype might be buggy. I'm just gonna restart Skype and I'll call you again. Alright, just give me a moment. Alright guys, I'm gonna restart my Skype so you'll hear some blooping and booping. So hopefully we don't have a first blood happen while we're at it. Really hope we don't get first blood. So I'm just gonna keep the camera here on them while I try and call Blaze back. And I know some of you guys are saying there's some robots, so I just want to get rid of it before we have that trouble going into things. And oh wow, instant D-ward coming out. Alright. Okay, so we have a Lina D-ward immediately. We have a core Lina on the side lane, I guess. Alright, let's just try call Blaze back.
30 seconds to battle.
Hello. Hello, hello.
I think it's better now, I think.
Oh, hopefully. So it's interesting, they, on the side of ASUS Polar, they bought 4 sentry wards, and that means they have no ground courier right now. Like, if one of the supports gets a bounty run or something, they can fix that pretty quickly, but at least for the moment, no courier is on the field.
Is this new meta?
The sentries are valuable against Weaver, but I don't know if
they de-warded the observer immediately, so... And FNG is actually for Lina. We're gonna have a level 1 fight here. Illidan Storm is jumping into the slider. Oh, LSA! Wow. And double stun! New player in a lot of trouble. He goes for Bucks first. He might actually die here as a result. Don't attack the Axe here. And new player, oh wow. One more chop would have seen to him. And that's gonna be first blood going the way of Lina. Oh no, actually Lion. Lion taking that first blood. It's gonna be Courier. And quick boots for him actually, nearly. And gonna drop tangos for this Axe. So once again we see interesting lanes well, it's gonna be G playing the Shadow Fiend instead, and new player going mid on a Weaver. So we have SF versus Weaver mid. Wow, this is something else. Off lane Lion? Is it off lane Lion now? Wait, no, off lane Axe. Or maybe they just sack the top lane, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think that's what they're gonna do.
Okay, so they sack the off lane, and we have Wraith King, Lina support here, so something we don't see as much. Lina support, I think it's a waste, but if you get a good start, it can still be very powerful. And remember you talked about all that setup stun, I guess it can work to some extent. It's something we don't consider now, seeing a lot of mid Lina, we just take it for granted. That Lina will be going mid. So instead to put SF there, he'll do moderately well against Weaver. I don't think he should die. And once he gets to level 4, level 5, he'll start crushing the lane. So I don't see him losing this lane, but a gank from Spirit Breaker could see that very quickly. So
we'll see how it plays out, but it's just really interesting to see the Lina and the Lion, what they can do when they really collaborate. Like we saw in that big fight for the bottom rune there, that was a 2-man Light Strike as well as a 2-man Earth Spike, and that just cinches the win. I'm actually really surprised they didn't get the Weaver on top of that without that Shikuchi. Now they did have a small error where they both put sentry wards down in the area there, so they invested that early 4 sentries and they kind of overlapped when they put them down, but you know, they got enough out of it to make it perfectly fine mistake. Now they go for some stacking, some room coverage, and it's not going to be... Oh, it's actually going to be a nice stun to cancel the charge!
Oh, if it hit... They actually should have hit on the Spirit Breaker, it would have been another kill. But now, the Fire Spirits are going to cause trouble for this tri-lane here, so they're going to back off this Spirit Breaker Phoenix dual lane. So far, not being able to do as much as there's so much stun. I don't think Spirit Breaker can go in with his... and do whatever he wants. So right now I think the safe play would just to be play it cool, get as much EXP as you can, and wherever last hits are concerned, get some. Illidan getting first hit bash there, definitely not gonna be happy about that. Going for the Rayfire stats, so that's gonna be his build of choice. And Lina has rotated mid, G giving her a sip of the bottle, and now SF hits level 4, so I think he'll start destroying this lane now with the raises, and especially with the sentry mid. Oh, new player might not have been seeing that. G thinking about that raise, gonna cancel it. If it was a level 5 on that Shadow Fiend, it would have been a kill on the Weaver if he timed it right. Yeah, still juking here, back and forth. New player has a lot of stick charges, but he's not enjoying this lane. And yeah, Sukuchi to try and get that last hit. Queen of Pain though is getting free farm, so they'll have to watch it. He bought a lot of regen as well, expecting a a very pressured lane, and in the end, she and Slander has a perfectly open lane. They'll have to try and keep Pilgrim to their side.
I don't think this strategy from ASUS would have worked out too well if not for the fact that they had just full coverage of their jungle. Like, there's no way that the Phoenix and Spearbreaker invade to drop any wards. Obviously, they won the initial level 1 fight, so just overall, they feel really good about the Axe's early progression. He just farms up for the Tranquil Boots. He's level 4, and now he can go to the top lane and meet almost 2 creep waves very, very quickly. So, great position for him to be in. They're not really too worried about those first 4 minutes of Queen of Pain farming, and the end result is just good for them. Oh, new player taking some hits from the high ground, but he does get to bottle up the Invis rune. More importantly for the sustainability than anything else.
Face the Queen of Pain now. The charge on him. He might die. I think G might actually go down here if he's not careful, and yep, there we go. Instant death. Oh, they've actually on a high ground. Oh, jumped up. LSA looking for an old Dragon Slave. That was really close. Nearly turned that fight around for the SF, but yeah, G wandering on his own, lonesome against the Spirit Breaker. Not exactly the safest position, and he will be brought down for it. New player, going to pop that Sakuchi, face up against FNG, but FNG is going to have none of that. Oh, DK Phobos running up to that Weaver, FNG 1. Oh no, they call him inside, but no, it's not going to be enough damage to Dragon Slave, not enough. FNG getting first hit bash there by Tron, and looking for more bashes there was that Spirit Breaker, and now G comes back into his lane, and Axe will happily give it back to him. And yeah, like you said, DK Phobos got a double wave now, 5.5, nearly have his ultimate now. Only wish he had it though against that Weaver.
Yeah, that would have been nice, but they had to stack a little bit just to kind of guarantee some disable will connect with new player, and then they do send him back home. I mean, Weaver with the bottle, magic wand, and just being so slippery in the first place, it's a win just to kind of get him off the lane. But now G, the question is, how is he going to progress? Because the one drawback to opening the Axe like they did is that there are no stacks for the SF to farm, which is very uncommon for a Radiant Shadow Fiend. So he's going to have to really just win out the lane even further here around this level 5, level 6 mark, and they're going to try to...
Oh, the race missing though. The LSA will land on Tron, and now Disruptor comes in looking to kill him off. They bring SF back into the middle. I'm not sure it's going to work out for them this time. There's a lot of heroes here. They will actually take him out, and now Lion, he has to look for that Hex. He doesn't get the Hex. FNG going down, and nice Sonic Wave coming in, kills both supports. ZXC with the Queen of Pain coming in at the last moment and cleaning house. Exactly what a Queen of Pain has been built to do, which is mop up duty. And Owl 3 looks pretty clean now after that one. 2-4.
Yeah, and bottom, easy charge bottom. This is going to be pretty much the guaranteed death of the Wraith King. He'll try to survive, but one hit, there he goes. Ah, that is a painful losses for the side of ASUS Polar. They just knew.
Drop so low?
Really, he just ate a lot of creep auto attacks. He does have a stout shield, but like he was harassing the Phoenix nearly under tower, and he was just trying to trade hits that ended up bringing him to a pretty low HP value. But yeah, no, I just feel like Moscow 5 learned a timing where ASUS have nothing going for them. Like, they got greedy with the Axe play and how he moved about the jungle, and although his progression is great, it doesn't really pay off until you get that Blink Dagger out. So that's the time they can pressure the lanes, kill off the SF, and now maybe Illidan again.
Yeah, Illidan going down. Yeah, it's definitely. I think he's gonna go down. One more crit on him, and there, down he goes. The line coming in though. He will get that. Double stun on the victim. The Axe comes in with the Lina. Oh no! Gets the charge away in time. Now Slander is gonna block him out with the kinetic steal. There'll be none of that. But now DK Phobos running in. Slander charging in with that. LSA is gonna land out. Oh, here comes the Queen of Pain. Takes out the Axe before he has a chance to do any Duncan. They will kick out the Disruptor, and Queen of Pain is bottling up that haste, so Lil is going to hide in the trees for a little bit, go on refuge for a while, but not going to show his face. 3 and 7 to trade X for Disruptor, not the worst trade considering how this game has gone, but still pretty bad nonetheless. This Lina Lion combo not exactly working out for them.
Yeah, but it doesn't really come online until level 6, so they still have some time to make it work, but essentially...
early game it's not really a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of potential with all these stunts, but even if they don't realize them now, they still have some real good kill mechanics that'll bring them back into the game in the near future if they execute well. But we do see another teleport down. Spearbreaker refills ZXC's bottle. Beautiful. And it even gives them a free sip. That's 4 free bottle charges for them. And then they can put aggression back down bottom. Or even if the Wraith King skills reincarnation, unless they use it to turn the fight around, it's really not all that valuable. It's just denying 1 kill. And, oh, new player finding a double damage rune on Weaver. The Geminate is going to be so real down bottom.
Yeah, Lil is hiding, waiting to give Illidan the support he needs. And there's Reincarnation. I think it would be really ill-advised for M5 to dive this without some proper backup. But we'll see. They could get really rough. This is a Russian team we're talking about. Here comes the stun on the ZXC. They might get his Reincarnation. Triple man! Stone fight. And now ZXC gonna have the Reincarnation back. Illidan goes in there with another stun. Crits the Queen of Pain. One more hit will take him out. That's the Queen of Pain going down. Tron gonna charge away from his problems once again. G looking for a kill. And that Spike really make the play there. New player, one more hit will get the job done. No, G. Oh, going in there, predicting that race, and DK Phobos comes in. There's gonna be a dunk on that Weaver, not necessary. The Axe, old-fashioned way, not needing to spin, just gonna clank down on that Weaver, the Earth Spike. I was about to say Stone Totem, but yeah, that Earth Spike hitting 2 targets there, nearly hitting the 3rd as well, but that was perfectly lined up. And like I said, ill-advised to dive Reincarnation there. 5 seconds of downtime plus the mass slow. It was just a bad idea. They didn't have Supernova for that as well.
Yeah, it could have been better for Moscow 5 if the Weaver really got a bunch of auto attacks off there. Like, he had double damage, the Gemini attack, but he kept on having line of sight issues down in the tree line south of the tower. There was really good juking coming in from both the Lean and the Lion. These guys have only 2 armor apiece, so that a single Gemini auto attack times 2, that actually takes out about half their health with that double damage rune. But in the end, he still might be looking for something. The courier is not going to be found. But yeah,
Phobos.
Now new player,
Phobos
he still wants it. He still could get it, but no, the courier will survive. And yeah, but I really feel like it was all on new player there to get some more auto attacks out, kill the supports in the back line, so those stuns just didn't keep flying. But he only really got the Lion down low, and then he kept on getting juked. So in the end, Moscow 5 probably regretting their engagement.
Yeah, Lion does have Finger now, so it will be a trouble for them if they do decide to dive anything.
Oh, DK Phobos blink too.
Yeah, a single hero of theirs will be in big trouble if they do overextend. They might have to plan for losing a hero the next fight, because Lil with his Finger of Death nearly guarantees that. Oh, big call on Slander. I think they might just finger this. Yep, they might just go for the finger. Oh, Disruptor comes an ultimate at the very last minute. He won't get that kill. The Clank comes out. Now Lil gonna run away. The Queen of Fate going after him, and the Shadow Dagger will actually take him out. It's gonna be enough. So, but DK Phobos will blink away after claiming his prize of the Disruptor, but the Queen of Pain coming in at the last moment, so holding back on that Finger of Death might have cost him his life there, but yeah, he will have it for another target. ZXC going for a Necrobook.
Radiant's bottom tower.
So I mean that'll be.
Someone talked about this before. Was it? I'm not sure who talked about this. Like Waga, he did mention that Queen of Pain has this problem pushing towers by herself. So this Necrobook does offset that to some extent.
Sure.
And gives her the good stats to do it as well.
Yeah, she's really good at wave clear and she's really good at hero killing, but as far as actually taking objectives on the back of that, they're a little weak right now. But I think most importantly it's the attributes you get out of it, because you see the Weaver build, he's actually going Treads, Earn a Shadow. Oh, nice combo onto the Shadow Beam, bringing him down, but the taunt, the Laguna, that's the death of your Queen of Pain, a huge boon for ASUS, as she was level 10 at the time of
at least
death.
She didn't have a streak there to give away.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, she did kill the Shadow Fiend middle, and Illidan's still looking for a target. He hasn't gone Blink actually, and he's picked up a glove. Might be a Maelstrom. Oh, they're gonna charge in on the Illidan. They start on the victim. The Netherstrike coming in as well. The stun goes up. It will hit Tron. Illidan Stormbreath trying to get himself denied. Will he get denied by the Knolls? Will not happen here. Victim's on a dominating spree. Lil gonna go in for a call. Double man call. Finger of Death will drop slightly really low, and the Fire Spirit will land on him.
Oh, that bash
onto him. Takes him out, and now DK Phobos in a lot of trouble with LSA coming in as well, but that's too much damage. You know, even that axe to handle, and now he'll be brought down. G back into the fight. He's buying mechanism. I can't say I disagree. There's been too much new game coming on here, and now FNG getting charged to the side there. G walking into the cow as well. And yeah, well, Tron's gonna have himself a free express mid-travel there, so he will get out of the fight safely. Bigdom looking to re-engage here with that Weaver. Okay, well, they show him there. So the Weaver as well as the Phoenix going to be shown once again. Hand of Midas is going to be available for the Phoenix. And somehow these games we cast, the Phoenix is all managing to get their items up, and now we'll going to blink away in time. Lion TP a little bit too delayed, will not get that kill. So
Yeah, so I actually feel like Tron, intended or not, he's getting some amazing greater bashes just charging through people, and actually like saved some lives in that situation there. Like he actually got the bash on the axe, he was TPing away, and he just is able to, with all this control in the fight itself, as long as he's using charge back to back, he's actually bringing in a lot of disables, so the rest of M5 can bring the damage, and it's been impressive so far. I mean, Weaver is now 7 assists and 1 kill, and now like she's just been using the Earnest Shadows all the time to heal her allies, to do some damage, and the end result is a very tanky set of heroes that kind of counteracts the game plan of ASUS. ASUS just want to kind of two-shot people, drop a Laguna or a Finger, follow up with a Culling Blade, and it's easy kills. But the way that these M5 heroes are building, with the Necro, with the Earnest Shadows, the Tread Spirit Breaker, it's just really hard for those combos to go out on anybody but the low-value targets.
Wait, Weaver is a girl?
I think it's androgynous, or it's not stated, but...
Okay. Alright, but yeah, like you said, the tankiness from M5, or the general resilience of the lineup is is something to be feared here. There's a lot of things happening here for M5's lineup. When they team fight, there's just too many things for a Lion and Lina to handle. They're not the most flexible of supports, and they are very good at picking on target if they're the ones doing the initiation. But if they're trying to fight back, it's not really their way. With Spirit Breaker, Phoenix, they cause so much trouble. There's your glimpse into Spirit Breaker charge. Like I said, kinetic heal, trapping FNG as well as a bonus, and now the Sun will cut them off. This is the worst part about that. Oh man, that Sonic Wave, that was perfect placement there. Probably use a protractor for that. Illidan gonna be taken out. The reincarnation, we totally wasted. ASUS Polar getting mobbed here, and Illidan now coming back, trying to hit at a very low attack speed, and Tron would charge him down into little pieces. 7 to 19, Moscow 5, man. Where did this team come from? ASUS Polar, one of the top CIS teams now, would say that, you know, top 3.
Radiant's middle tower has
Moscow 5 just come out of nowhere and destroy. 7,500 gold and XP advantage here. The net worth sitting at 8,002 is the Queen of Pain, way above Shadow Fiend at number 2.
Yeah, they are just on a tear right now. They are cruising through this lineup, just using all their early fight potential to really control the state of the game. And the more fights they win, the more levels they get, which means they'll be able to survive this ASUS initiation much more effectively. Like, the Lina and Lion aren't going to be hitting level 11 for another 5 or so minutes, and by then we're going to see another round of tank items coming out from Moscow 5. The Necro 3's finished, Weaver's got all her stat items figured out, and the Phoenix's survivability is kicking in now that he's actually approaching level 11. Like, the past two Supernovas haven't been killed, but they're only the 5 hits from death. They're the level 1 Supernova, and that's dangerous to use that. But the combo that they're actually running right now is essentially when Supernova's going to come out, they kinetic field the people so that they're in range of the egg, but not in range to attack it. That's the big thing. They're still in the burn radius, they're still going to get stunned, but they can't do anything about it directly, and that's huge. That is a really skilled combo.
The cores like X are up front. Shadow Fiend is usually being focused, he's arranged, and Wraith King is usually not in position to hit an egg because he's usually not in melee range of it. Lion and Lina really cannot afford the health points to stick around and hit the egg, so they have a lot of problems when it comes to hitting egg. And like you said, now that it's level 2, 8 hits, it's getting harder because they can't sit and hit the egg when there's a Queen of Pain screaming in their face, Spirit Breaker charging up their core, and Weaver just, you know, sliding through the lines and trying to pick someone off. And now we're gonna charge onto Lina, FNG in a lot of trouble. From the LSA, he will land a lot of damage onto Tron. Now they're gonna go, wow, TP out very bold. And well, he will get himself taken down despite spending that $100 on an attempted TP. A desperate attempt to get out of trouble, though.
Is under attack.
This lineup from ASUS Polar is just not working. They had so many issues with the bottom lane, the aggressive stance that M5 took, and they just haven't gotten off the ground swiftly enough. Like, I was really hoping DK Phobos' Blink Dagger was going to be able to just net them a chain of kills. They got one on the Disruptor, but they cost them lives. And since then, there have been no positive trades coming out for ASUS Polar. In fact, they're about to lose their bottom tier 2, and with the tier 1 and mid already taken care of, this opens up Roche wide for Moscow 5.
Yeah, and giving Aegis to the Queen of Pain, that's a really hard to pick out. It's gonna be a real problem. Tron edging closer to that BKB, and well, apart from Max, what's going to lock down a Spirit Breaker here? We'll see, because it's definitely not looking good for ASUS Polar fans. I believe the Dota 2 Lounge betting is 84 to 16%, so good luck, fans rates. I hope you guys didn't bet too many Arcanas.
It's just, I mean, Moscow 5 are playing far better than a lot of people expected them to, and it's just, I think they're really pulling together as a team, finding their tempo, finding where they can be most effective, and there's a lot of teams that would kind of rest on their laurels when they see that they're winning the top lane as much as they were. They'll let the Shadow Fiend do his thing, but, oh, FNG, nah, he'll get the TP out, thank goodness. But top lane, we're actually going to see the Blink call go on to Big Gnome, and this is going to be a huge kill.
Alright. Here comes that CIS throw we are all so familiar with. But yeah, the Blink Dagger was picked up, so at least he didn't lose any money. Slander going Ogre Club first, so I assume it's gonna be a Ambulance. Necro units now gets deployed double damage as well. They are going to charge into Roshan, and with that Spirit Breaker. Now today I'm going to find out if Necro unit works on Roshan. Oh, he does.
Just a little bit. I mean, obviously, with his health pool, it's not the biggest contribution, but yeah, he's still, they take care of him, and obviously the aura helps their entire team bring it down quickly. So that's going to be the death of Roshan, and only for the tier 1 top, which was slated to fall pretty soon.
Going to Corp, they spoke up right after, and they're gonna look to throw some pressure in, and wow, they spot FNG dropping a ward on the high ground. I'm not sure how though.
I think it's just tower vision. I think that he made the mistake and went into a very clear-cut tier 2 can see that type position, and that's gonna be a no-no. They're gonna deward that very quickly.
Yeah, now the smoke comes in. He's not gonna see this one coming, and I hope he doesn't cast a spell because they will see right away. Bye, my friend. Oh, will he TP out time? Nope, Glimpse slammed down. I told you this Glimpse was a good idea.
You know, it definitely. It just was odd. It was odd considering the draft, but yeah, no matter what, the Glimpse is an extremely powerful tool, and I wouldn't say they've really gotten a lot of kills off of it, but
they have the option. It's always the option there, and I think it's just super strong because normally you need heroes like Bounty Hunter, Beastmaster, Vision, but what better than Spirit Breaker, you know?
Certainly. So, I mean, he obviously...
preemptively in front of him anymore. You just have Glimpse waiting there in the back lines, and well, you just hide in the trees and wait for the target to try and run, and then you glimpse him back into Spirit Breaker's arms. So I think it's really strong.
Good potential. I mean, Tron knows what he wants. He finds his target, and he's able to just jump on them. Now with the BKB, you can't even cancel that charge out without the Berserker's Call. So, and that's unlikely considering how Greater Bash works against Axe. But yeah, just in general, I think that they have really good offensive chase potential, and they're going to be able to follow through with that. I mean, every single one of Moscow 5's heroes are designed to run down the opposition. You've got your Queen of Pain Blink, your Disruptor Glimpse, your Icarus Dive on the Phoenix, who now has a Blink as well, and then of course Shikuchi in charge, which we've seen already in action. But mid lane is going to be the jump against ZXC, and the damage should be sufficient to bring him down. Oh no! The Static Storm's enough.
DK Bobo's all going to be backed up. Not going to be enough. Or will it be? Requiem of Souls will come out, and the charge now going onto G. There's a BKB. There's nothing his supports can do. They're going to roast him, give him a sunburn, and the Supernova will be deployed once again, preventing any reinitiation here from ASUS Polar. They'll lose their Shadow Fiend and the Axe. ZXC not having to use that Aegis of Immortal.
Yeah, I'm almost positive that he thought he died, because after that engagement he walked away and then he just literally stood in the same spot for a good 8 or 9 seconds while the rest of his teammates were fighting. So
and Phoenix said, I got the second best thing. And drops the Sun Ray on his entire team. Value deal coming out. The Sunspot, really nice.
So that's easy tier 2, 23 to 8, and tremendous kill lead. And I guess you could say that they kind of need this kill lead because they are going to taper come like the 40-45 minute mark. They're not going to be as effective. But as it stands right now, they've got a ton of momentum behind them. They have some decent scalability on their heroes, and honestly, like ASUS just, they don't have a way of sticking damage in the fights. Like if the Spirit Breaker sticks to Shadow Fiend and doesn't allow him to get his ultimate off, then suddenly the only people that are doing damage is with their ultimates.
Yep, and Wraith King is not in a position to land the big hits yet. He'll need a little bit more. He is forced to rush for a BKB. Other than getting that Midas does help him cope with the farming, but right now,
what do you think about his skill build?
He's 4th from the bottom.
What do you think about Illidan's skill build, not going for any more in the crit this early on?
I guess he just realizes that he doesn't have the damage. He's more of a frontline tank now, and I guess that 1 point of Mortal Strike is just, I don't know. It's more of a courtesy thing. Oh, Tron gets his BKB up in time, so Lil will not be getting anything. Now Lil facing a lot of pain here. He's going to be doing the hard time in the fountain here. He drops the stun to make some damage, but now Sonic Wave comes out. DK Phobos gets himself run over by that train wreck, which is Spirit Breaker. And I like this Shadow Blade coming out here for SD. Always fun to see Invisible Cow, and we're going to have a lot of trouble for ASUS Polar if they aren't already in.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
G after the mech going BKB, farming some ancients, but he's going to run into
Oh,
Slander
no.
here, and now he does not have the means to run away. And they're going to charge it. There is no running from this. The Glimpse will come out, and you'll be set right in there, clanked by the Spirit Breaker. There is going to be your fire first and the Scream. Out.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Down he goes, 826 is the score, and ZXC still has not suspended any
Radiant's top
of those
tower
Aegis
has
charges.
fallen.
Not to say that he has a lot of them, just one. And Desolator is now picked up by a new player. So this Weaver mid turned out well for them.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing about Weaver mid is that you can't gank this hero. Like, he's just able to outmaneuver you as soon as he has the point Shuichi, which turned out to be level 2, and he'll get some reliable farms. So he got involved in the fights pretty quickly, and he wasn't a real
Dire's
target.
bottom tower
Like,
is
he's only
under
died
attack.
once this game, and that's not for lack of trying. But Earnest Shadows, Treads, Aquila just gives him enough HP to survive in general against this team lineup, and then he can go hyper offensive. And now we see the Desolator, which is just the perfect item for him to clean up kills, especially against these targets that are already so susceptible to physical damage output.
Well, this is like you said, a very rough game for ASUS Polar. DK Phobos once again getting charged there, trying his best to muster up a BKB. But whether or not that BKB turns out to be useful with the constant charging he's been receiving, it's well, it's something that remains to be seen here. FNG as well as Lion. Well, once again, I'd like to take this moment to hate on support Lina, but you know, it's not really that issue here. It's
Yeah,
more,
there's a lot wrong. That might be like a small portion of it. That some other supports could react a little bit better against hyper offensive play, but I would say that the light strike she's gotten while trying to defend under tower, it seems to be valuable enough to make it worth the pick. Maybe not worth. I think they picked it up in phase 1, which definitely isn't really that value, but. No matter the case, it's just Moscow 5 have a better game plan across the map. They know the kills they want, they know how to get them, and you're talking about like whether or not the BKBs would be enough, but I don't think they have a choice no matter the case. Like they're worried about the current state of the game. They're not worried about how the game will be 20 minutes from now, and so the BKB is probably the best item at level with its 10 and 9 second charges, and that's what they're playing around with right now. It's actually going to be FNG pretty much going down. The BKB makes it guaranteed, and yeah, keeping bottom lane.
Lion. Oh wow, instant scream and with Lincoln's. There's not enough setup for him, and now he'll lose his reincarnation. We might actually lose Illidan a second time. DK Phobos going in there. ZXC no longer has that Aegis. He could actually go down here, spin to win race. No, not enough, and now DK Phobos failing math class. Not gonna be able to get that Queen of Pain kill. Illidan still thinking about that kill. He might assist the creep wave. Thinks about it. Illidan applies a lot of Desolator against the flight with a lot of Desolator debuff, and now Raptor of Soul G charging it up. DK Phobos gets hit by the Weaver, so he will not be able to come in for a blink call, and Wraith King goes down in the back lines once again. G BKB'd up, and his first BKB charge used defensively. 8 and 29, only 26 minutes in. I got a tank Russia for this. I love their games, and CIS Dota never lacking action at any point in the game.
Yep, and now just, I mean, they're cruising for a pretty quick win here. They're working towards the Aghanim Scepter on the Disruptor, the Shiva's Guard soon on the Phoenix. At that point, you're going to have a level 16 Phoenix, the big egg with 11 attacks to destroy, and that attack speed slow, along with all the control that we've already seen from Moscow 5, no way in hell you're breaking down the egg. He can put it out as aggressively as he wants to, and it's barely worth the 11 auto attacks just because you're automatically in retreat for ASUS. They can't stand that kind of a fight. Even with BKB as a mechanism, they're purely on the defensive. This Queen of Pain's gotten huge. I mean, she's level 17. 560 experience per minute. ZXC can just tear them apart.
Yeah, Kyle's coming in for solo kills, and FNG wishing he had that Eel Scepter Shadow Blade. Oh man, that just sucks ass. Oh, and they get bashed on the high ground, second chances in life, and now Tron says, I hate mine. He's gonna get battle hungered, and will he be able to charge away in time? 2 seconds, 1 second, and boom! And out he goes. Oh, he bashed DJ Bobo's on the way out. Yeah, you don't touch him. And no, he's gonna escape. Very fun. Just diving behind enemy lines. 5 heroes chasing you. Not even gonna be able to do anything. Balance.
So at this point, I kind of feel like ASUS just need to look to charge down mid. Like trying to play passively and farming it out and spreading the map is not that great against a Spirit Breaker, and specifically against offensive vision. Right now, Moscow 5 have the top lane ward, but they're in a position to put out like 2 or 3 more aggressive wards where they can just chain gank the jungle. So I would have to say just try to go together as 5. Try to see what you can do with the Shadow Fiend. Maybe let them get level 16, just a little bit more, but no, they'll go for the smoke now. The problem, Spirit Breaker was charging the Shadow Fiend right when they smoked, so it's very clear to Moscow 5, or should be, and it means that it's unlikely that ASUS will find an opening.
Yeah, and they're smoking in the wrong direction here, because Roshan is getting ganked in his own home. Once again, there's been a break-in. They're going to steal something very valuable to him. His life as well. His age is 8 and 29. Moscow 5. We're going to play that. Goes to Swamp once again, and she's tacking into right click, going for that Maelstrom into Mjolnir. Extra damage from the right clicks, as well as the potential static storm that you can apply onto the Spirit Breaker is going to be very invaluable. Here comes the Spirit Breaker charge once again, hating on that Lina as much as I am. And oh, might go for the line, just slams it in. That BKB, one more bash to take him out. Nope, Tron gonna save his life, but here comes the Twop. It's not gonna save him. And Sonic Wave screams into the forest, and out he goes. DK Bobo's getting glimpsed. Lucky for him, it was only 2 steps backwards. But yeah, they're gonna need a lot more steps than that to come back into the fight. And Illidan, he's got his BKB, but BKB doesn't really help you kill things, just helps you get through life a little easier. It's kind of like coffee.
Okay.
Weird analogy.
I guess I can see the comparison somewhere there.
Yeah. BKB is like coffee, you know, keeps you up.
Sure. Keeps you, you know, can't start a day off without a fresh cup. So we'll see. There's some people that love BKB, some people that hate it and try to only pick it up when you absolutely have to. But yeah, it's yeah, I would have to say it's a relative thing. You have your opinion. Some people like coffee, some people like tea, which would be like a Lincoln Sphere or Manta Style or something. It's preferential. You just, as whatever works for you. But we see what works for Tron is charging through, finding anybody he can kill, and just gunning them down.
I'm not sure BKB is going to do him any good here. He's going to get caught out there. Well, it will do some good if he stops bashing. And now spends most of his BKB snapping backwards. Slender getting called in. Finger up that pokes him in the eye. Down he goes. Illidan using his BKB charge. His reincarnation is going to be very unpleasant when he comes back into the fight. DK Bobo getting burnt here. Illidan Storm Ray losing every single bit of mana, now having a Sun Ray in his back. Just run the hole right through him. And the X goes down to the Weaver back in the back line. Only Shadow Fiend still standing. If I was ASUS, I would call GG. Go to game 2 and just rethink my strategy here. Maybe decide to ban out Spirit Breaker over Sniper. Because right now I think Tron is looking way cooler than the Sniper is. Or ever will. And Sunray brings them all up to speed once again. Makes them just really good at that Phoenix, and how GG charged there. Gonna die for the 7th time this game. And the GG comes out 9 to 35. Moscow 5. I wouldn't call this one a luck.
No, they just outplayed them. They knew how good their heroes could be in an environment where they just dived the opposition, and there was only one dive that didn't pay off for them. The bottom tier 1, they didn't have the target priority or the line of sight to really focus anybody down, so that caused its fair share of problems going in against Reincarnate as well. But other than that,